Ha 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 ha. Good morning, all. As TJ says, hello, James Hayes. Are you ready? Are you really streaming this early? I hope you and everyone soon to be joining the chat are having a great Saturday. Yes, this early. Piping hot coffee. Have another one brewing right now. Hello, TJ. Hello, James Hayes. This early, yes, 3:17 a.m. in the morning here, but not for TJ. About 8:47 there, I think, in the UK. But nonetheless, yes, we're streaming. What's going on today with everybody? I hear my second cup brewed. This is about half full. So, woke up, fell out of bed, dragged a comb across my head, and fell into a dream. Love that. 9:17 a.m. here. I think that's what I said, wasn't it? 9:17. Oh, I was off an hour. Oh well. Hey, Tree Goblin. Morning to you, brother. Recovering from last night. Who, me? Me? I slept. I didn't have to do Red Valkyrie's show. I don't think they had it going on. For some reason, I missed it last week. Slept through that one. Didn't even think about it last Friday. But this Friday I did. And I don't know what happened with it, but I dropped the link if anybody wants to come on, conversate. It might be too early. Who else is streaming? There was a lot of people streaming. Jiminy Cricket says Rex is taking advantage of Vic's absence on YouTube to swipe his viewers. Well, I don't know about that. I did notice that he was not streaming, but I'm just up and ready to stream. I've streamed this time before. I have no rhyme, no reason. Today I might have a rhyme or reason because it's going to be a busy day. Hens on for 5 hours. Wow. Right now, let me see. Let me just see who's been streaming of late. Was hen on for 5 hours in the past, or is she streaming for 5 hours today? Well, maybe we won't. That's going to be wild. She would probably stream after me then, huh? I know she was streaming 12 hours ago. Yeah, she streamed. I think I came in and said hello. Yeah, 12 hours ago she was streaming for 5 hours. And streamed for 5 hours, just shy of 5 hours. Yeah, we're probably going to top that today in between now and the 4 o'clock shadow. We're going to top that. We'll have a good stream today. We'll have a good stream. Good coffee stream here, at least a cup and a half, if with a little lime. And us in appreciation, you're getting on early. Yes, let's see. He went for 5 hours, and us in appreciation, us in the appreciate it, and us in the appreciate it, you getting on early. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, it's coffee time over there in the UK, isn't it? Or tea, or, morning, get the morning going, the blood pumping, things going on. Yeah. And I have a busy day. Need to check no one's guessed anything. I mean, Caroline tried real hard yesterday. She had, oh gosh, probably about a dozen guesses. Would have liked to have awarded her a prize yesterday. for her diligence in trying to guess at least TM's name. No one's guessed TM's name. I won't be announcing if someone guesses it. You know, I don't know that I'll be announcing if they won or not, because somebody else might guess it too, right? Well, I guess maybe first come, first serve. First to guess wins, but nobody's guessed what I'm going to be doing today. I'll be doing a number of things, but there's one specific thing. 3 words. You guess that, you win $200 worth of collectibles. You win if you can guess that and the character's name, TM, which no one's guessed yet. I think it's fairly obvious, but maybe not. Apparently not. They've been trying to guess for like 2 weeks now or more. And Vic's doing a great piece on that. He's been working hard for me to get this stuff out and scans. So, yeah. Let's see. Tiling my bathroom. No, but I do have a couple of tiles that have kind of come out that do need repair. But good guess, Jiminy. I feel fine. Thank you. Well, good. Doing laundry. Yeah. Well, I will be doing laundry today, but that's not what I'm looking for, Margot. Looking for something very specific. Everybody will know. Maybe by the end of the day, maybe not. Maybe not. Got to be elusive, right? If somebody pegs it, it's worth $1,000 worth of collectibles, or at least 200. If you can guess TM's name. How's your head, Margot? What'd you do to your head, Margot? And good morning to you, dear. I guess it's about 9:24 over there for you as well. In the same time zone as TJ. If I can get my tongue to work, it needs to be able to work today. Going to pick pumpkins. No, that's been guessed. Alcohol Rex. No alcohol. No alcohol tomorrow. I mean, later today, unless I feel like it. There's not going to be any alcohol. I have none of that planned for today, but you never know what the day brings. Margot had a weed dram. Oh, and did you fall and hit your head or bump your head while you were intoxicated a little? You better be careful. That garden needs tending in more than one way. Shave your beard. No, I did trim the hairs that were coming over my lip after I got out of the shower. Hello, Amanda B. You're all over the place with coffee time, Devil Flyer. Good morning, all. Yes, I am. There was no falling. Well, good. Glad you got your balance. Margot got plastered last night. Oh, you did. Well, I'll speak softly. That's what you do. While she gently weeps. See what I did there? Beatles. Margot doesn't drink often. Yeah. And then it hits her like a sledgehammer. I understand. So I hope everyone's going to have a good weekend. I know I'm going to have a good weekend. It'll probably be way too short, per usual, but I don't care. Talked to Elsie last night, and he'll be coming to visit me sometime this week or at least next weekend. I will be doing Apex After Dark, which is at midnight tonight on Saturday. And I will be doing the show-offs on Sunday, as I usually do with Texas Dave Houston. We'll be covering Batman, showing some great Batman pieces. I have some sitting right here, some production pieces. And, I'll pull a few more items I will be doing that today, but that's not what I'm looking for to win the contest. An old applause Batman mug that survived my fire because it was in my art studio. I still have a trailer art studio. I never go to it. I haven't been to it in years. It's just locked up and on my property out where I grew up. You want a teaser? I'll give you a teaser. I haven't shown some collectibles in a while. Nothing significant. These are production pieces that I'll be showing on the show offs and some others. They're quite interesting. They talk, they're all from what I call the Brazilian collection. I collected a collection of production artwork from Brazil. These two particular pages, page 7 and page 16, from a story that has Batman, Wonder Woman, and Batgirl in it, are from Brave and the Bold number 78. Now that's one a while back. I'm kind of curious about that. So let me look up on eBay real quick here. Exactly when that book came out. Brave and the Bold. Brave and the Bold number 78. Okay, just let me change the number and then we'll see what we should see. Oh, yeah. I have that book. I usually get the book with the production artwork. These are like, I guess they're stats. Now are they stats? Yeah, they're probably stats that's handed around. I don't know in this case if this was used in the same regard, stats to stay on model. I know for these are more like dialogue sheets because every single logo, word balloon, anything that's in here is numbered on this one in blue. So it may be hard to see, but they have a number for every dialogue. And there's a lot of dialogue on these pages, these 2 pages I have. And that's the reason for that is to change the dialogue into Portuguese. Let's see, what year? Let's see if I click on that one. If it gives me a year, it's a 12 center, so it's Silver Age. I have gotten some late 50s stuff out of that, and early 50s stuff out of that Brazilian collection. Sadly, I could only buy so much of it. It wasn't a money thing, although that comes into play. Best match, really? Is there only one listed? No, there's another one. And that one didn't have the date. Let's see if this one has the date in the description. They say 1968. That's probably about right. 1968. The particular one was in the coils of Copperhead. I'll show you this here. I'll just share the screen so you know what comic book it comes from and what I'm talking about. You may have this comic book. I don't know. Okay. There we go. Go full screen on that. And then I can even do better than that if I go on here and look at it on eBay up close. There we go. There's Copperhead and Batman, Wonder Woman, and Already Subdued, Damsels in Distress, and Batgirl there, limp in the coils of the Copperhead. I'm thinking this might be Copperhead's first appearance. I can't remember. I do have these up for sale on eBay if anyone's interested. Anyway, these are from Brazil. And like I say, they numbered each piece of dialogue, every logo, any dialogue whatsoever. It needed to be changed into Portuguese. And then I have some uh, Batman covers here I'll show you that's in Portuguese. Now, I don't have the large ones pulled yet, but I have some very nice large ones. I've sold some nice ones. I have one Superman with John F. Kennedy on the cover, plus the Capitol. Now, that is a Superman piece, like an annual, an almanac, I think they call it. And I kept that one. I don't think I've ever put that one up for sale. It's historic. It's interesting. I think, when you're talking foreign comics, there's a delay in there's a delay in things and uh in reprinting. I have an Amazing Spider-Man #1 acetate that is from 1969. How do I know that? Because I have it scratched and printed up top, 1969 when it came out. It's all in Portuguese, but like Juno or I can tell certain words. Uh, I have this dialogue here is in English, just the way it would be in Brave and the Bold, and I hope my camera doesn't, is showing it off good. I'll go slow here and see the whole page there. I think you can see little areas of blue there by the dialogue. Each dialogue is numbered, and then they would just supplement that over the English and put it in Portuguese. So a good Batgirl with the little Wonder Woman. So all three characters on that page there. This is page 7 of Brave and the Bold, number 78. And then here is page 16. Now, what I was going to say before I sort of interrupted myself was I would have bought more from this gentleman, but he was moving to America or somewhere else. I think he was moving to America. And he kind of got off eBay and was selling these somewhere else, and I just never pursued it. I did buy a whole bunch from him. I bought about that's the first production artwork I well, I don't know if it was the Adlers or what. This one is dated 1959 July, which is Julho, the way they spell it in Portuguese. This is Signal Man. I do know him. He's an old Batman villain. This is probably an artist that is not American. I've never seen any Batman cover like this. You can go, I've been tempted to go on like Brazil's eBay site and try and find some of these comics. I don't think I've matched up any of the comics with some of these. These here being older production pieces. Production art. I have people ask me all the time, was that original pencils and inks? No, although that's the very start of production art, or I guess you could say preliminary drawings are. Preliminary drawings were, did I say happy Sleestak Saturday? If I didn't, happy Sleestak Saturday. Hopefully Lorenzo will be in here. He's probably asleep though. But up till about 1982, when the collector's market started looking at some of these things, this stuff was scrapped, it was shredded, it was burned, it was destroyed. What else can I say? It was not looked at as valuable. Sometimes it was taken home by the artist. Sometimes it was put on file, and we have examples. I have an early example from the 40s of a cover, an untrimmed cover. It has all the ads in there, and on the inside front cover, the inside back cover, and the back cover, plus the cover artwork from Famous Funnies, which was the first comic that they marketed and sold for a dime. New material, reprinted stuff for a dime, and got the trend of charging a dime for comic books. And some of those comic books were thick. They, now they might charge 15 cents, back in the 40s for a larger, like 96 pager or something. And what's wild, during World War II, there was rationing. A lot of that stuff, if you wonder why it's so valuable, supply and demand, and also it's just so rare because they recycled for the war effort. A lot of those comics, I have a few examples. I have like a very fine, very nice copy, wartime cover of Blue Beetle #6, where he's holding a rivet gun. I have not shown it on this show. The reason being, it's in the safe, in that drawer that I can't get into. In that drawer also is a Jack Kirby book. There was only 60 of them produced. It was fans of Jack Kirby that wrote articles on Jack Kirby, and you had to be in that association or that club, and it was only sent out to club members. So it was not ever available to buy. You had to be a club member to own one, and I bought one from a club member. That also, I think he was the one that I bought all the John Buscema preliminary drawings. He would preliminary lay out the page and then copy, go from that, put it on the light box, and then kind of, he'd have his layout that would be showing through, and he would draw the Savage Sword of Conan pages or whatever he was drawing. Avengers, I've got an Avenger page. Early 90s stuff. All of it's about in that time. There's a few individual things. I have a Conan head that he did, just a head. I have I have sketches too. People of everyday life. He was always drawing, apparently. He'd take a page and draw something here, a cowboy on a horse. He'd practice his horse here, maybe here he'd have a barbarian. And for some reason, they would cut around and make little, sometimes odd type cut, drawings. I think maybe his manager said that he signed a bunch of them. So he wasn't afraid to make money that way, I guess. Maybe that was towards the end of his life. I don't know. But one of these days, I hope to crowdfund a John Buscema. And it's going to be mostly Savage Sword of Conan pages from that magazine. But I have some other stuff. I've got a Bucky. Bucky being Captain America's sidekick. And what's interesting about it, half of it is in pencil, and he inked half of it. So it's not completely inked. That's real small, on a real small piece of paper that they kind of cut out. So is that Conan. Conan's very detailed, and it's all inked. Very nice. But the pages are large. They're like the size of an art page. And I've shown them before. Anyway, here is Signal Man versus in some kind of observatory, because you have this device back here, because he's kind of into different symbols. You can tell on his cape there, he's got different signal. I don't know what Signal Man's. He's kind of obscure now, but I in reprints I knew who he was. So that is a known villain. I don't think he's been used a lot. Dialogue is in Portuguese. Batman, of course, is Batman. I like the grease pencil type. Maybe you can see when it was produced up there. So plastic's been around since the 1940s. They replaced canopies in World War II that were glass at first with plastic. DuPont, I think, was very innovative and created plastic. I think the first plastic stuff, and plant based. Also, I forget what they call it, but and nylon stockings for women. They created nylon. I think DuPont did. But other than this being around in South America, you probably couldn't get this cover artwork anywhere else. The same with all these. I thought it was funny. This has checker top cover. This one's from April 1959. If we're to believe this, this is issue 74. That was issue 77, I believe. Yeah, 77. This is 74 from April 1959. So very crude, very crude. Got Robin on this one. These are plastic acetates, see-through acetates. You can see the checker top up here. You can see right through it. If I was to pull this out, it's just a piece of plastic film. Transparency. It's a transparency. There are color guides done like that. And color guides are also done on paper. But their Batman is swinging into action. So probably somebody out of Brazil, an artist out of Brazil, did these. So these Batman covers are rarely seen unless you have the old foreign comics. I tried to buy as much from this guy as I could. Here's the last one I'll show. It's kind of like a Jughead type character, or kind of like from Archie, or kind of I kind of get the vibe of also a Jimmy Olsen type character. You'll know why I say Jughead here in a minute. This is issue 66 of Batman in their numbering. Ebal, EBAL is the one that printed these. Ebal is like Marvel down there, or DC Comics. There you go. Batman hitting a bad guy. That Archie-like insert. Don't know what character that is. This is the fun, kind of campy Batman. That's what I like about it. Classic, kind of like the old 1966 logo for that was on the Batman show with Adam West. 19 what did I say? It's 19 August 1958. 1958. So that's, and I have some earlier than this, like go back to 53 or 54. I've got one that I need to find that's an early one. But this is just some of the stuff that I'll be showing on the show offs on Sunday. Cool comic book history, Rex. Oh, thank you, Jiminy. Yeah, I don't pretend to understand all of it because production methods down in Brazil might have been different than they certainly were different, and even in the UK. I mean, in the UK, you got like the Avengers and Conan together in one comic. You might have like, I don't know, just pick sort of like the American Doctor Doom and Kazar, a Tarzan type character. And Kazar goes all the way back, I guess, almost to the pulps, back into the 30s, certainly the 40s. And Tarzan's been out a long time. He was like pre-1920, The first Tarzan movie was in 1919 and starred Elmo something, real intimidating name, Elmo. Oh, I don't even know if he had the yell then. There's only one, Johnny Weissmuller, It's kind of like there's only one James Bond, right, Margot? I think TJ agrees with me as well. But yesterday was Sir Roger Moore's birthday. So happy belated, birthday to you. I do think we need to remember people's birthdays, even if they passed on, especially if they brought us joy in our lives. Elmo Lincoln, I think that's right. I have that particular movie. I have several silent movies. I do study silent movies, or have in the past. Having done a lot of people, you have to be up for it though, or you'll fall asleep with no dialogue. Even if there's music, the music sometimes lulls you asleep. Now I didn't really plan on this, but I found a pecan. Now I'm going to draw on this pecan. Why, Rex? Why? Well, I got started doing these. I'll show you an example. This was the last one I did. I have it in a little baggie. And it's number 241. So this nice pecan that the squirrels were nice enough to leave alone and take the outer part off. In fact, on some of these, and I can see on here, there's little scratches on it where they were, and why they didn't eat it, and crack the shell, I don't know. Maybe they got scared off by the dog or what. I just saw it, and my neighbor has a pecan tree. Well, the For Fans Fest that was announced, that was supposed to go on in October and November of this year, which is not going to happen, and was delayed last year because of COVID. So maybe one of these days, Uncle E and Billy Tucci and all them that's in the know will come out with the For Fans Fest, and hopefully Devil Flyer will be done by then. And you'll have it in your hands. Certainly the supplement, anybody that gets, the supplement and the ash can will get that, and then we'll launch in sometime in March of next year. It's going to happen quick. It'll be March before you know it. I was doing these for Fans Fest up to the time of Devil Flyer. I did one, and then I maybe found another nut or something. I don't know. Somebody clipped that. I just started doing my Bog character, which is my most developed character. I thought it would be my first comic. Kind of like Doc is doing Pariah Blood and Mud. He has a character, but I just do his face on the pecan in Sharpie. And then I number them on the back. This is number 241, and the last one I did, which was in April 24th, 2022. So it's been a while since I found a pecan to do. A lady at church gave me a whole bag of pecans, and I've done them up, and I'm up to 200, and this is 241, and this one here in a minute is going to become 242. I'll use this last one as a model, and I'll put it, then get done with this, I'll put it in a little baggie like that and put it right here in my pen holder. So that way when I get another pecan, I'll know which one is the current number and date, and and then so forth and so on. Hopefully somebody will give me a whole bag of pecans when they get some pecans, and I'll be able to carry on and have some of these for sale for Fans Fest if they're not going to go bad. He screamed. He didn't have the classic yell. I have that movie too. It's so long. Yeah, it's long. Yeah. But movies were longer. In fact, you in some cases you have your intermission, and then you could go to the bathroom, you could get a drink, you could go to the concession stand, and get a drink, get popcorn or candy, whatever. Actually, it's not that long. I'm thinking of another silent Tarzan film. Okay. Yeah, there were several people play Tarzan. Buster Crabbe played Tarzan, and he played Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers too, along with others. Coffee's lukewarm. My brewed up cup is probably lukewarm by now. I can always microwave it. So I don't know if I have a Sharpie here. I may have to go get a Sharpie if I want to do that. I have some Sharpies really I should throw away that are, running out of juice. I'll see if I can get anything out of this thing. I kind of use this as a model. I kind of, they don't vary that much. I pick which side I want to do on. I like to use the darker striations. Like on this one, I'll probably use this side because this has better, and it's not marred up as much. I did wash it, get any mud off. There might be a crack there. I don't know if that's a crack. I think it's just a ridge and where the squirrels went, because there are some scratches on it. But yeah, you see these dark toward the end here, you see these dark areas on the pecan, and that's his sort of Spanish moss or whatever, his swamp stuff that hangs off his face. He doesn't have a mouth. He doesn't have a nose. So how does he speak? He speaks telepathically. And I do his word balloons a little differently. Uh, he's an interesting character. He'll be in the Devil Flyer book. Doc Blaylock knocked it out of the park. I'm going to ask him here pretty soon if he would do another for me when it comes time. He had such a great time doing the Grave Tales story, which is one of the horror stories. But like I say, these stories can be read as one and done stories, or they can, they can be taken as complete single stories, or they can be linked up, with a larger story. All these are going to be like the one and done Grave Tales. Bog takes on a has the bystander in there. He's kind of like my cosmic watcher, and he see if I can get it out of juice. I'm not going to get any juice out of this. I might be able to uh, might be able to. He does have like a brow on his head. Yeah, that's not gonna. It's a struggle. You have to go over and go over and go over. I may have to go get a Sharpie. That works. I think I have one in there. I do have like alcohol markers and other stuff like that, but I want them to remain consistent. I know a Sharpie works really good. I'll be just one moment. Thank you for your patience. I have 8 people in here now. One of them might be me. I think they count me as well. But so we have 7 people. We were up to 10 people, so that meant we had 9. Now we just slipped one. Really? Well, and that may be YouTube. Well, if you can hold on, great. If you can't, have a happy Sleestak Saturday. I'll be right back. I know I have a good Sharpie in there, and I'm going to heat my coffee up or get the larger cup of coffee and just leave this one in there. I'll be right back. Promise. Is Jiminy doing the do 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 do? Insert intermission music here. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, older movies they used to have that. I don't know why I'm putting these in. I really don't need these in, right? Hear myself speak, unless I have somebody in. Who did the art for your ash can, Rex? That. Uh, Good question, James. A friend of mine over here, John Philandes, he did the 29-page story plus a pinup for me, plus two covers, one for the ash can. I'm going to use the very first drawing in Devil Flyer that he did. I'm going to use that for the supplemental cover. And then the rest of the insides will be all Vic King artwork. And Vic King will have a piece. There will be a bog piece done by me as a pinup in there in the ash can. And then maybe one from Doc Blaylock that he did. I may save that for a trading card and put something else in there. I'm not sure yet. But it'll be a different artist. It may be another Vic piece. I don't know. Or something else another artist has done for me. A little mixture. But John Philandes did the story and the cover. The cover is up on the campaign where the Cy Marco hand is grabbing the trident, and I'm going to use that for the ash can. He did do a color cover, which I have here, which will be up on the campaign. Vic's working on right now a wraparound cover for the campaign, which has the villains on the back and the heroes on the front. They're kind of rushing towards each other. Hopefully you've seen him drawing that of late. Now, since you did have to wait and I didn't have any music for you, here's another production piece that I always kind of keep handy. Didn't cost me a thing. Actually, Elsie gave this to me, and he played a penny. He paid a pretty penny, and Peter Piper pecked a whatever. Okay, this is the color guide, the one and only color guide to Avengers #4. So for you early risers, and maybe you've seen me show this. I've shown this on other shows. I've shown it on my show 2-3 times. But this is the color guide to Avengers #4. This one happens to be on acetate, plastic, mylar, if you will. You can see they have some scribblings there, notations. It's oddly cut. It has punch holes here. This is to put it on the machine, I think, to line up everything. I'm not sure on this one because and it's just stapled on a piece of cardboard here, double stapled. Each one's different. I've seen some paper ones. I've got one that's paper that from Joe Kubert, a war cover that has like 10 different sheets. It just depends on who prints them, you know. And this was printed in what, 1964 or 3 or something? You know, whenever this is the first Silver Age appearance of Captain America, very key issue. And that this thing exists at all is a miracle because this stuff was thrown away. It was scrapped. Don't know who did the printing. Sometimes they have a mark back here that says Marvel property or, you know, the printer, if it's Curtis or if it's DC used Spartan, Illinois. A lot of these things will say World Color, where I used to work at here in Jonesboro. Um, Although we didn't do any comics, we didn't have the comic book contracts. And this is in layers. This is like all the colors lined up as it would be on the original cover. And then you have and when it comes to color guides, there's different layers. Some of the black has kind of come off here in spots onto this other sheet because this thing is old. But you can see the different colors, how they would do it at the printers. This is like a sienna here, nothing but what we would call yellow, but they call sienna in printing. And so it's just the different layers, and the one and only color guide to Avengers #4. You won't see this anywhere else. It's the only one in existence. This, if this particular piece right here was not produced at the printers, you didn't get the comic. That's production art. Um, Things they use for production, like silver prints, or either paper. I have some on paper as well, uh, and sometimes they have a cover sheet. Uh, Pretty neat. Pretty neat. Actually, he put this up. He bought this on eBay. He and it looks authentic to me. I've looked at, this is was probably put on file somewhere. Till 1982, stuff like that was thrown away. It was destroyed unless it was put on file. File copy comics are part of the production artwork. I do have some file copy comics. Sometimes they're in immaculate shape. I've got one from the 40s, an Eastman Kodak comic that was produced by them. I can't remember the title. I think it's back there. It's somewhere. It may be in there in the box. It's an immaculate shape, maybe very fine plus to near mint, and it's back in the 40s. That's one reason I bought it. It belongs in a museum. Yeah, and I have sold to a couple different museums. One out in California, and I'm not sure where the other stuff went to. I was thinking about that earlier, that I haven't sold to those gentlemen. Um, one of them came around once a month, pretty regular, once every 2 months, and he hasn't come back to buy anything. Of course, I haven't been active. I haven't added anything new. So let's see if this marker works. I can get his eyes on there. I don't think this has as much juice as I would like to. I'll go back over it when I get, if I see it's not covering good. I'll find another Sharpie somewhere. So got his eyes in there. I'll look at reference here. Now I kind of do the spacing and everything. They're all a little different, all a little unique. And I'll have these up for sale one day somehow. If they have a lot of nice striation for his beard, for his face, I generally, don't do a lot of marking. I don't see any reason why. I just kind of let the natural coloring kind of, inform you the way it looks. All right, now his brow. He's got like a little furrowed brow. And I always give him two little sticks or twigs. I think Doc put leaves on the end of them, and I'm fine with that. I always put two little dash marks, and it's always on the same side of the head. It's on his right side of his head sticking out. So I'll put a little, and then to balance it out, sometimes I'll put another little dash there or something, like I say, each one of these, and then I date it. Today's the 15th, October 15th. And this baby's almost done. Like I say, I haven't done one of these since April, apparently. So it's been a while. I have them all in a plastic bag in there. And then what I do, I number it. So this is number 242. 242. little number sign there. 242. There. I feel like Eric and Boyd drawing for you. Yeah. Look, see how it looks. Yeah, I believe that's finished. So here you go. Here I present to you number 242 of the Bog Pecans. On the lighter side there. Some of that may be because the squirrels kind of took it off. I don't know. Interesting. Little scratch marks. Adds character to these. So I'll find a little craft baggie like this, and this one will go in with the rest, his buddies, so he doesn't get lonely. This one will be wrapped up and in solitude till I find another pecan. Somebody wants to send me a box of pecans, that'd be awesome. Always up for that. Good waste of good cooking pecans, but oh well. So I guess I could show you John's cover. He's got it here somewhere. Oh, and I do have some Adler sitting here, so why don't I just show you some of those if you haven't seen some of those. I have more of these in here. Actually got a pretty big pile sitting here that needs to go in there with the rest. I will be doing some cleaning today. I do have some sequential thumbnails that I need to show Vic so he can get started on my Sea Demon story. And I'll have to do the same with the second skin story. These come with the certificate of authenticity. If you haven't seen these before, this is a Brave in the Bold, much like that Portuguese. This is production artwork, one and only. This is like a copy, and then they hand paint over it. They sometimes indicate on there with just a dash, this is to be in red, this is to be in red, this is to be in the lettering is to be in yellow, apparently, because they put yellow over the red background. Put little indications of issue number and whatnot in white. This was probably done by Jack Adler himself. He is a little known name in comics, but I hope to change that and also crowdfund a book on Jack Adler. This is an interesting piece. It's kind of got a devil-like character, at least his shadow. It's got a swastika flag here, Nazi flag here. It has Batman holding a glowing cross and Sergeant Rock. So what is not to love? Plus, it's an old 20 center from the 70s. Hand-colored original art for Brave and the Bold number 108. Now, you'd have to look that up to see what year it is. Hand-colored original art mentioned above comes from the Jack Adler collection. Jack Adler worked for DC Comics from 1951 to 1981. And I'm going to have to look into that because he was a colorist on Action Comics number 1, which is much earlier. But yeah, he's worked in some capacity for them in a while. But this is a painted piece at first. This is the type of thing that Elsie was buying. He bought them and got on that before I did. My very first one was Hawk and Dove number 1, which is a Steve Ditko cover. There was very few number 1 issues in the collection. There were very few Steve Ditko pieces in the collection. And Steve, I got looking into it. Steve Ditko's birthday is my birthday, so that's wild. Now this is one of 5 pieces. This is the only one that was in the collection. He was the DC archivist. He saved a bunch of these, but he only, out of about 800 and something thousand pieces, he saved less than 1%. So these are indeed rare. They're one of a kind. They're scarce. I can't even, but I in my site, or I've shown on the show, I have a book that it's on the Gerber rare list. There's only about 20 of them known to exist. It's got Dagwood and a lot of the characters from newspapers that you would know, but there's only about 20 of them that exist. This one here is one. This is the approval cover for Weird Worlds number 3. It's the only piece that had 5 pieces to it. So you had the approval cover, and then you have the untrimmed approval cover, which has all the ads. Here's the back cover ad. That's the certificate of authenticity. So there's the untrimmed. See the margin around it. It's an untrimmed, but with all the ads. The approval cover is just front, and the back of it's blank, and was pulled off the line when printing, just as a proof. This here is an untrimmed sort of approval cover that they pull off to check all the ads and all of it, again, because you inspect it. They come and they pull a book off the line. If the book's being put together, and they look at that book, make sure all the inserts are in, all the forms. If something's wrong, if something's been printed wrong, they stop the press and they fix the problem. And then they go back to printing. Here's the painted piece to that one. This is the hand colored piece to that. A little bit different from the painted piece, of course. A lot lighter in tone because it's painted. And you would also have a color guide. You'd lay this down for the printers where the colors would go, which is kind of a guide in itself, but you'd have a color guide as well, I believe. And your 2 approval covers, painted piece, color guide, and your file copy. The actual file copy is the 5th step in the printing process. They pull a file copy. Here's the file copy to World's Finest 208 Neil Adams cover. This is the file copy. It's not in near mint condition. Some of them can be in stellar shape. Got 2 Golden Age reprints in that. This is the only copy that I have of this World's Finest. I might have gotten another one to, add to my collection. I don't know. I need to check that. But now I have 2 more pieces to this. I think the approval cover and the untrimmed approval cover. One of them might actually be the painted piece. I don't know, but I bought this with it. It's a trifecta. I bought 3 pieces. This is the DC Comics file copy that would have been either sent to DC or kept at the printers maybe for a while. There's kind of a different style certificate of authenticity, the same from him though, from Robert. Here's a Luis Dominguez cover, 1973. This is the approval cover to this piece, House of Mystery. And this is something I've not shown you, a silver print. Now, I'm not sure what silver prints are for. Maybe to show it in black and white, or kind of grayscale, but it is part of the printing process. I did not get any. Well, I take that back because this is from the Jack Adler collection. There were a few silver proofs. I don't have very many silver proofs, but you can see it has the outer edging on there, and it says Sparta up here by my fingers. Sparta, Illinois. That's who did all their printing. But very, very impressive to see it in color. The fit, what it would look like printed, the actual printed comic. And generally, these are in pretty good shape, and not always, but most of them were in pretty good shape. And the Jack Adler he saved what he liked, and he had romance, he had every genre out there, Western, you name it. And Robert got some of these signed. This one's signed by Luis Dominguez, and this is a grayscale cover. This is House of Secrets 112, 20 center. I don't know if you've seen these, but these, I don't want to bore anybody. I'll show some more of these. I'll show some more of these later. But you're right, Jimmy. Some of this stuff belongs in a museum, so that these blue-haired, pink-haired freaks can come in there and throw stuff at them, like they did Van Gogh, or glue themselves to it, and that's paper product. It'd totally destroy it. I'll show you another Luis Dominguez. This was the first Swamp Thing cover after Bernie Wrightson stopped on the series. He did 10 issues of Swamp Thing, and he'll always be known for Swamp Thing. So Luis Dominguez got to do the first cover. Sadly, this one's not signed by him, but it is what it is. I do believe Luis Dominguez is still alive, but I'm not sure. He was very aged, just a few years ago. This is the cover to Swamp Thing number 11. Very nice atmospheric cover on the original run of Swamp Thing. Early 70s, 20 center. Hope my camera's not acting up. This is a rare number 1 issue. There was not very many number 1 issues in the collection, remember? And it's a checker top. You have collectors out there that will pay a premium for these checker top anything, and also production pieces. I actually traded a few checker top to get something I wanted. This is the Inferior Five. Now, they made their first appearance not in issue number 1 of their own title, but in Showcase Comics. Tattlemouth. No. I was just talking about you, Eric. So in the Inferior Five, nice car there. Spoof on comics. I first encountered the Inferior Five in reprint form in the little digest in the 80s. I think the 80s. Might have been in the 70s. Another rare number 1. This is Jerry Granetti and Craig Flesel. Craig Flesel did the inks on this cover. Jerry Granetti, he did a lot of war comics, like Joe Kubert. Still got the original notation to that he stuck to it. As I said, there wasn't very many number 1 issues in the collection. Kind of a different comic. Didn't run for that many issues. Craig Flesel, he was the creator of Sandman. That came out in 1971, the original Sandman. I have a production piece somewhere by him. I say an old Adventure Comics cover. Champion Sports, #1. Multi-panel cover, kind of different. Join the winning team. Whereas LZ at the beginning, he was going for all the painted war ones, which was not bad because that's what he liked to read. I was more diverse. I'm not that hot on this, but it is a rare #1 out of the collection. And Jerry Garnetti, Craig Flesel. Craig Flesel. I probably at this time when I bought it didn't even know this is from 1973. Who Craig Flesel was. This is stamped on the back, initialized by Jack Adler. They had to sign off on it. Joe Orlando and Carmen Infantino. What did I do now? Oh, I was just saying I was drawing earlier and just mentioned that you were, I'm doing a draw stream like you do. This is a painted piece. Leave It to Binky, number 64, and I'm sure Jack Adler probably colored this. Excuse me. One of those fun, like Archie books that they used to do. 12 cents, so it's probably in the 60s. Here we have a Jack Kirby. I wasn't expecting to show these off, but since I had them sitting here. Jack Kirby Superman. Superman's pal, the new Jimmy Olsen, number 137. Didn't pay a dime for this, but Elsie did. I remember this was here. I have a lot of these because they were given to me as Christmas presents down through the years. He knew I liked these, and he would give me one for several years. Sometimes he gave me some that were signed by Neil Adams. Very nice, very generous guy. He gave me that Avengers #4 color guide. He gave that to me. A little Jack Kirby there, not for working for Marvel, but DC Comics with the Newsboy Legion in the background. Another creation in the 40s of Joe Simon and Jack Kirby. Okay, I thought I did something annoying and wrong, like usual. No, you didn't. Now, this is a key piece. I've shown these before, so if if you're not interested, you can bounce out. But I really enjoy looking at them because I paid a small fortune to get them. The very first one I bought, which might be in this stack. Let me look. Now, this one I have two of, this Black Magic #5. I liked it so much I bought it twice. It's unusual that there were two of them. Like the colors on it and just how modern the art style looks. Usually he would date these. Like I got that back in 2006. Boy Commandos. That was another Simon and Kirby. They reprinted 2 issues, 1 and 2. This one's signed by Carmen Infantino in ballpoint there. He was editor-in-chief at DC Comics at the time. A little bit of morning phlegm there. Apologize. seeing if I have that very first one I bought in this pile. Excuse me. Well, hundreds and thousands of dollars here. Just sitting here in a stack. Look at here. Here's the other one. That was given to me. That turned out to be a key issue because it's her first appearance and she's making it in the movies, I think. All right, I don't have that one. Now to show you one more. Some of these are great. I'm going to show some of these again, or not those again. So that's an exclusive for just my coffee crowd today. But the rest of that stack, and I'll pull the rest of them from out there, and that may not be all of them, but in between I and LZ, we probably have like, I think I counted 88 of them. Probably more than that. We probably together combined have more of the Adler collection than any other collectors. This one I'm getting ready to show you is the first appearance of a character. Oh, but before I did that, I wanted to show you that I wasn't tricking you and pulling a fast one. Approval cover. They're both approval covers. Same one. Now they can go together in my collection. Very rare. This is, but there's two of them that were printed. Color saturation and everything looks about the same. Don't see any differences. Sometimes you get early pulls that are incomplete. You left something off or something. That's the thing. I've got some of those. You want to see some more of the Adler collection, you can tune in at 4 o'clock. I'll be showing some of that at some time. Last one. We'll wrap it up. I'll finish my coffee. Love on my Abby. And I'll see you again at the 4 o'clock shadow. And we'll see if we have a contest winner. So far, no go. First appearance of Black Orchid in Adventure Comics number. This is a Bob Ostner cover. I'm not familiar with Bob Ostner, but I think he goes way back. This is Adventure Comics number 428, her first appearance. And I do know there's pieces too. She had 3 issues when she first appeared in Adventure Comics, number 228, 229, 230. Unfortunately, I didn't get the other 2 to go with this, but I did get the key first issue one. And I have some here signed by Jack Adler. I have some of those early pulls, rare oval covers, and other stuff. But you'll have to tune in later to see them if you haven't seen them before. Very proud of that collection. I hope to gather all that up in a book. But for that, I will have to get permission from the Jack Adler estate and DC Comics to crowdfund my John Buscema book. I'll have to get permission from the Buscema estate, Marvel, and DC, because I have some of his Marvel stuff and I have some of his DC stuff that would be featured in the book. So we'll get Devil Flyer and Momentum going off into the sunset, and then we'll come out with those hard-hitting books that I think a lot of collectors will like. Great things coming from Momentum Comics and this channel. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, TJ, for coming in, and Eric, spending some of your weekend with me, Jiminy Cricket, James Hayes, Margot, the lovely Amanda B was in here. Am I missing anyone? Tree Goblin. I think that was it. Short stream, shorter, and early, but, them's the breaks, baby. Boy, I gotta walk around. I swear I'll make it up to you on the 4 o'clock shadow with a longer stream. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you have a great weekend. Tune in to see if there's a winner, because people are still DMing me guesses. So to reiterate, if you can guess, and nobody has yet, what TM, the character TM stands for, his name, it's as obvious as nose on your face, and yet nobody's guessed it. I'll give you $200 worth of collectibles, book value, sent to you immediately. Now, if you guess that, and you also guess what I'm doing later today, 3 words. I'm looking for 3 words. There's been 3 people. 3 people kind of allude to it, but they didn't give me what I wanted to hear. It's very specific. If you can guess that, I'll give you $1,000 worth of collectibles out of my collection. And it'll be tight. It'll be good stuff. Will it be a Jack Adler? No. But it'll be good stuff. Trust me. So tune in and see if anybody wins. And there'll be other exciting things going on too. I promise. That ain't no lie. And if you can't tune in at 4, tune in later. Maybe you'll and hit the like button before we leave, will you? I would appreciate it. Bow for now, and as always, keep collecting.